Ladies and gentlemen, first, Karibu to the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority. We did call you members of the Fourth Estate today, noting that it's the 14th of April 2024. We wanted, on behalf of the authority, to be able to walk you through some of the mandate of the authority, and particularly try and pass on an explanation to Kenyans around the mandate of the authority, and particularly with respect to pricing. We wanted to speak to you today on the trends in the market, both internationally and domestically, when it comes to electricity prices, and also with respect to petroleum prices, which is of concern to Kenyans. I have a written statement. I will read it out, and then we can then take questions and answers. As you are aware, ladies and gentlemen, we as the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, having been established under Section 9 of the Energy Act of 2019, this is Act number 1, is mandated to undertake the technical and economic regulation of the electricity, renewable energy, downstream coal and coal-based methane and petroleum sectors of this economy. In line with our mandate in Section 11C of the Energy Act, we are mandated to set, adjust, and review electric power tariffs and structures, as well as to investigate tariff charges whether or not a specific application has been made for that tariff adjustment. Further, the Energy Act 2019 stipulates that the tariffs charged for electrical energy supplied must be just and reasonable, which enables a licensee, which in this case includes Kenya Power, to, amongst other things, 1, maintain financial integrity, 2 is to attract capital, 3 is to operate efficiently, and 4 is to compensate investors for risks that are fully assumed. Section 10(1) of the Energy Act mandates us as a regulator to regulate the importation, refining, exportation, transportation, storage, and sale of petroleum products within the Republic of Kenya, with the exception of crude oil. Section 11B gives us, as the authority, the mandate to set, review, and approve contracts and charges for common user petroleum facilities and petroleum products. Ladies and gentlemen, with respect to the electricity retail tariff and approval, I will want to speak about electricity first. We do undertake electricity tariff review every 3 years, and this is in accordance with Section 165(7) of the Energy Act 2019. The last tariff review was undertaken in April 2023, and this is for our fourth tariff control period between the financial years 2022-2023 through to financial years 2025-2026. In this review, the authority rebased the exchange rate for the use of conversion of power purchase obligations, since most of the PPAs, the power purchase agreements, are mainly foreign currency denominated. This therefore means that the fluctuation of the Kenyan shilling against foreign currencies is reflected in the end user bills through for the foreign exchange adjustment in the bills that customers receive on a monthly basis. The current appreciation of the Kenyan shilling that we have seen has had the foreign exchange adjustment of the end user bills reduced by 1 shilling and 95 cents per kilowatt hour in April from a high of 6 shillings and 46 cents in December 2023. This has led to a saving to the economy of about 4.5 shillings per kilowatt hour on account of the forex exchange adjustment only. This is a significant reduction in the cost of power just on account of foreign exchange. In April 2023, we did approve a yield of a tariff from financial year 2022-2023 of 17 shillings and 26 cents per kilowatt hour. This was to come down in the current financial year, and it has come down to 17 shillings and 10 cents per kilowatt hour. We also approved for the next 2 years, the financial year 2024-2025, we'll see the power tariff reduced to 16 shillings and 39 cents. And in the last year of the tariff control period, the financial year 2025-2026, the base tariff will reduce again to 16 shillings and 8 cents. The steady reduction in the non-fuel tariff in the financial year 2024-2025 will see us having a reduction in our cost of power by 2.4%, and the energy charge component has a decline of 5.69% in the next year, which is the financial year 2025-2026. In terms of the impact, ladies and gentlemen, the base energy rates are charged to customers on a monthly basis. We calculate this through a formula which is gazetted in law, where we have the base tariff, we have the pass-through costs, we then add the taxes and the levies, and the duties imposed on the government. Some of these add-on costs are the fuel energy charge that I've just spoken to. The other is the foreign exchange fluctuation adjustment, FEFRA. The other is the Water Resource Management Authority, WARMA levy. The other is the inflation adjustment, which you compute semi-annually, twice a year. We also have the inflation adjustment, which I've just spoken to. We have the VAT at 16%. We have the Rural Electrification Program levy at 5% of the revenue of sales from power sold by Kenya Power. And we have a regulatory levy for us as EPRA at 8 cents per kilowatt hour. In terms of the trend, and we'll be able to share this statement with you, ladies and gentlemen of the Fourth Estate, we have had a trend which will be able to demonstrate what has happened from March 2023 to date, where we've had our fuel energy cost reduced from 8 shillings and 30 cents in March of 2023 to today, this current billing month, to 3 shillings and 26 cents. We have had our forex adjustment come down from 2 shillings and 16 cents in March of 2023 to 1 shilling and 96 cents in April of this year. We also had our inflation adjustment come down from 85 cents to 33 cents, which is a clear demonstration of the downward trajectory in respect to electricity pricing. As illustrated the table which I will be sharing with you, since the beginning of the tariff control period, the pass-through costs have been on a downward trend. The fuel energy cost has decreased 61% from 8 shillings and 30 cents per kilowatt hour to 3 shillings and 26 cents per kilowatt hour. This is also attributable to the reduction in recovered amounts after the presidential directive, which had us reduce end user tariffs by 15% in 2022, and also an increase in generation from renewable energy technologies in the system. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been an increase in generation from hydropower plants from 17.71% in March 2023 to 24.66% in April 2024, while that of thermal generated power has reduced from 11.9% to 6.72% over the same period. Further, there has been a reduction in heavy fuel oil prices. As I've mentioned earlier, the foreign exchange adjustment has also decreased significantly from the 1.95 shillings per kilowatt hour from the high to 1.95 shillings per kilowatt hour from the high of 6.46 in December 2023. Ladies and gentlemen of the fourth estate, as I said, there has been a significant reduction in thermal power generation, which sometimes would account for high power bills due to the cost of fuel. This is from 11.09% in April 2023 to the now 6.72% going into the month of April. Ladies and gentlemen, that will bring me to the end of my statement with respect to electricity. Moving on to petroleum. As you are maybe aware, ladies and gentlemen, the computation of pump prices is undertaken in accordance with the Petroleum Pricing Regulations 2022, which is the legal notice number 192 of 2022. We do consider a computation which is enshrined in the regulation with various cost components forming part of the build-up. One is the landed cost, which we apply the weighted average cost per product of imported super petrol, diesel, and kerosene. This is internationally traded commodity, and those prices are determined in the international market. We then add our storage and distribution costs. We then add the margins, the applicable taxes and levies. We apply what is called a cost plus formula when we determine these prices. These are a summation of as I said, the production cost, the storage and distribution costs, the margins, the levies, and the taxes. The factors are incorporated into the pump price formula, which was validated in 2018 through the cost of service of supply of petroleum products, predominantly known as COSOP. The petroleum pricing process has split the supply chain costs into distinct supply nodes comprising of the product cost, primary storage costs, primary transportation costs, secondary storage costs, secondary transportation costs, wholesaling, and retailing costs. The segregation ensures that we do have transparency and efficiency during the pricing process, which is what we as EPRA have committed to the Republic of Kenya. The petroleum products are traded in the international market, as I said, and we import all our petroleum requirements. Therefore, the trade international prices affect the pump price that we do pay as consumers. I will be providing again a table to you that will indicate the landed cost of petroleum products, which is an international benchmark, which we do put in our price every 14th when we put it out. We are going to put out the statement once we are done here, and you'll be able to see the trend from May 2023 to March 2024. Just by way of example, the price per metric ton as published by Platts in May of 2023, super petrol was being imported or being sold in the international market $785.96 per metric ton. We are today seeing a price of $881 per metric ton in March of 2024. Similarly, for diesel, we had a price of $609.35 per metric ton. We are now seeing a price of $726.62 per metric ton. For kerosene, we had a price in May of 2023 of $675 per metric ton. We are today seeing a price in March of $779 per metric ton. The highest international prices we've had this far was in September 2023, when the impact was felt in the month of November 2023. It's important to state that we price on what is called an M-2 basis. So when you have a particular pricing month, that price reflects in the local market 2 months later. So when we had September 2023 having the highest prices. This was witnessed in Kenya in November 2023, where we had petrol retailing at 217 shillings per litre, whilst the actual cost was 229 shillings per litre. The difference is what government then stabilized through the Petroleum Development Levy. Diesel at that time was retailing at 203 shillings per litre, whilst the actual cost was 233 shillings per litre, the difference again being stabilized by government through the Petroleum Development Levy. At the same time, kerosene was retailing at 203 shillings per litre, but the actual price was 206 shillings per litre over this same period. This is the stabilization that the government was able to put in place to cushion Kenyans from the adverse effects of high international prices. At the time in November 2023, the exchange rate was 157 shillings and 52 cents against the US dollar. When we do price, we convert that to Kenya shilling, and that high number in terms of the exchange rate, 157 shillings, had a huge impact on the pump price, the pump price that Kenyans were paying at the pump. If you compare in April 2023, the exchange rate against the dollar was 138 shillings and 96 cents. When we came to November, we had 157 shillings and 52 cents. In the current cycle where we are now currently at 133 shillings and 54 cents against the dollar. You would understand that we take a weighted average of the vessels as they arrive over the month. I know we are seeing an exchange rate of about 127 shillings when the markets closed on Friday. We take an average of the month, and because we price on the cargoes that have arrived between the 9th and the 10th of the preceding month, that is why you can see an exchange rate of about 133 shillings to the dollar. In the April-May cycle that we are getting into today, and as I say, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be sharing this with you members of the Fourth Estate and by extension with Kenyans, we are seeing a reduction starting from midnight tonight of 5 shillings and 31 cents for the super petrol grade, 10 shillings for the diesel grade, and 18 shillings and 68 cents for kerosene. I will repeat again, we'll be seeing a reduction from midnight today of 5 shillings and 31 cents for super petrol, 10 shillings for diesel, and 18 shillings and 68 for kerosene. This will see the product retailing at 193 shillings and 84 cents, 180 shillings and 38 cents, and 170 shillings and 6 cents respectively. Over the last 2 months, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen significant reductions in the cost of petroleum products in the country, where we have seen a reduction of approximately 8% at the pump, which translates to about 15 shillings per litre, and 12% for diesel, which accounts to about 23 shillings per litre respectively. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, in the remainder part of the year, we're likely to see electricity, particularly we are now in the long range period. Our thermal generation is likely to remain below what we recommend at 5% because of the good hydrology. For example, we will see Masinga Dam, which is one of our largest dams in terms of hydro generation, is 97% full. So when we continue a lot of hydro generation and keep the thermal generation low, we're likely to see less fuel energy cost in our power bills, and we hope this will obtain over the next couple of months because of the long rains. In terms of petroleum products, we shall continue to monitor the developments in the international markets, as we said, because the product is a globally traded commodity, and the other macroeconomic factors, particularly the exchange rate, which you have seen has had a significant impact on the cost of the petroleum products in the country and also the cost of electricity. We shall continue to monitor that. But if the trend continues where you have the strengthening of the shilling against the dollar and the good hydrology with the rains that we are seeing, we'll continue to see a reduction in the cost of power as well as the cost of petroleum products. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my statement.
No question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I have a couple. One is on anticipated growth, yeah, the cost of electricity. Would you like tangibly say if it's maybe 2 months from today or it's like even more different period, yeah? Or when to expect that? And also again, it's in whatever is happening group that Mexico have said that they are going to cut supply of the export, yeah? The US, Europe, and Asian markets, and the escalation of Hamas and Israel. And is it correct to say that it's very likely that next month Kenyans are not going to enjoy this growth that we've been enjoying since December?
Maybe I can take that, John. I think The first, the cost of power, the answer is yes, because even if you look at the Gazette, which we put out last week in the journal, this was for the billing cycle that we've just been billed as consumers this pricing cycle. We have had a 2 shilling increase in our cost of power per kilowatt. As I've said, with the long range being here with us, if we're able to maintain less than 5% of the dispatch of thermal, then yes, the trend will continue in terms of reduction of prices because our dams are full, the rains are continuing to pound, and hopefully that will ensure a sustained period of very good hydrology and high dispatch of hydropower plants. On the second one, in terms of the geopolitical factors, as I said, other than probably there are two factors: the geopolitical factors and the macroeconomic factors. The macros are favoring the economy as we speak, and also favoring us as consumers because with a stronger shilling, then that means then our foreign conversion then becomes lower, and that means there'll be lower prices at the pump. When it comes to the geopolitical factors, I think those are not within our control. We are monitoring the situation actively. This is things that change on a daily basis. We want to see how the markets will open tomorrow. There's because of the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Once we see how that pans out, then we'll be able to give a more conclusive forecast as the regulator. Other international bodies are giving their own forecast. We wait to see how the market opens tomorrow. That's important to then understand that these factors will impact us on a 2 months look ahead. So those prices will then be determined, will be felt at the pump 2 months ahead. So whether it's another reduction or will it be a slight increase, will be a trade-off of those two factors. One, the continued appreciation of the Kenya shilling could make, in our estimation, the next month or two, be able to be of more benefit to the economy as opposed to any spike on account of the geopolitics.
I just want to ask about the reduction of electricity prices. You have mentioned over the last 1 year how we've been able to reduce. But the thing is this, most Kenyans don't see it reflected. Is it because of maybe other charges that are put there by Kenya Power? But on your end, you have done your bit in terms of helping the consumers.
So I think it has been reflective in terms of the cost of power. There, it has been reflective. If you go back and look at your bills, then there has been an impact. For the last couple of months, the power costs have come down. As we said, when we did approve the tariff, we had a reduction when we got to the end of the financial year 22-23. We moved from 17 shillings and 26 cents to 17 shillings and 10 cents, and we'll continue to reduce even as we go into the financial year 24-25. We'll go to 16 shillings and 39 cents. But the key component here is on the pass-throughs, particularly the foreign exchange adjustment, because as we've said, most of our PPAs are denominated in foreign currency. When we have a weakening of the shilling, then that has a direct impact on the power tariff. So what you'll probably be looking at is an instance where we've had a reduction in the base rates, but had an increase in the foreign exchange adjustment and the fuel energy cost. Because the cost of fuel was higher, the conversion on account of the weakening shilling was causing that value that Kenyans would have seen to have been eroded. But now when you have the strengthening of the shilling and you have very good hydrology, then the converse then would be what would then portend is that when you have a stronger shilling and you have better hydrology, that means you're dispatching the thermal power plants less, and you're then able to see the economy, the benefits as a consumer. But the impact has been there.
This is the last one. On the issue of cooking gas, the prices have been going up, yet LPGs are byproducts of refining of crude. Is the reason being
I think maybe, John, maybe what I can explain is that there is what they call the crack spread. So there's a difference when you compare the landed price of petroleum products in its liquefied form as you compared it with the barrel in crude and also with LPG. The prices of LPG, yes, have been on an upward trend, but there are interventions that have been proposed by the government through the LPG growth strategy that will see these numbers come down, particularly when we introduce the open tender system in terms of having a competitive procurement process to import LPG into the country. I think that will be a significant game changer from what I said.